So, Bed, welcome to Channel 1, and thank you very much for this interview. You are back
pleasure.
in London again after a tour in Germany with the SCARLETS.
Yeah.
So, tell us some things about this tour.
Well, this is our third tour of Germany, and it was very, very good. It's very important for indie bands in the UK to tour as much as possible in Europe, because the UK, it's not good for pop music at the moment. It's sort of very dead, if you like, and Germany is a rising market, and there's many young people that want to go to listen to this. It's changed a lot in 5 years. It's gone from rock music to indie pop and a big variety of music there. So, and we love playing there. So we like to play in Europe as much as possible, as many places as possible. But it was very good.
Gatekeeper is the new SCARLETS album. Tell us some things about this album.
Well, we've made 6 albums so far, but it's only the first 4 albums of SCARLETS were just myself, some singers, and some people that I know in the studio, so we never had a band. And it was only a couple of years ago that I formed a live band, and the past 2 albums have been with this live band, and I think the latest album is more like, it's almost a cross between the old SCARLETS and the MONOCHROME set. It's kind of got a little bit of both in it, I think.
Mm-hmm. But do you have any memories of your first concert in Athens back in '82?
Yes.
With a legendary MONOCHROME set. Tell us about it.
Well, it's difficult to remember it too much, but I remember the food was really good. The people were fantastic. I remember playing with The Passage.
Yes.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
From Manchester. From Manchester.
That's right, yeah. Because because the MONOCHROME set reformed and did one secret gig about 4 weeks ago, and Dick Witz from The Passage was there. We were talking about the gig in Athens.
Oh, that's good.
All those years ago. No, we still remember it. It's very, very good. And we had time to look around Athens the day afterwards, but often, with gigs, bands, we go from the hotel, we go from the airport to the hotel, then we eat, then we do the gig, and then blah, blah, blah. We don't really get to see the country or the city that much. So,
yes.
But we've been twice, and hopefully with SCARLETS, we can come back. I can come back personally, and I can actually get to see a little bit more.
I hope so. Here's Frank. It was your first single with a MONOCHROME set.
That's right.
How did you find Iggy's version?
Well, it's going to make me money. It's interesting. I mean, it's not my kind of music, but strangely enough, I really think it suits Iggy's voice. So he performs it really well, but it's kind of a dance music version. And as far as I remember, the reason why it ended up as being like that is I think that was it that the House Martins or something were going to do an album full of cover versions, and He's Frank was originally going to be on that album, but for some reason it didn't end up on that album, but Norman Cook always wanted to cover it. So when he had the opportunity to do it again, and then he's done it with. But I don't know, there's going to be an album out sort of now with Norman Cook and Iggy Pop and David Byrne and some other people.
And Martha Wainwright, I think.
Have you heard about it?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
So, but I saw you on YouTube, on the same stage with Martin Bates from Eyeless and Gaza.
Yeah.
And Lawrence from Felt. Three iconic figures together. Yeah. Can you tell us your point of view about the classic Pillows and Prayers album?
Well, Pillows and Prayers was the album that catapulted Cherry Red to fame. It But by the time of around about 1982, 83, Cherry Red were really the only proper independent company, one of the few left in the UK, because most of the others had either gone bust, like Stiff Records, or they had sold out to larger companies. So Cherry Red had still carried on being an independent company in that tradition. And there was the A&R person working at Cherry Red was a guy called Mike Allway, who was a genius, and who came up with this idea of just selling it at an LP of a compilation of all the Cherry Red acts at less than cost price, which is just £1 or 99p, and it sold 1 million within a couple of weeks. So it was a brilliant concept, you know.
Okay, one final question. Tell us some things about John Peel from the Monochrome set Peel Sessions period.
Well, I think we either did 2 or 3 John Peel sessions, and all I remember that he was just extremely open to just having anyone on his radio show, and you know, you had the chance to, even before you were signed to a record company, you had the chance to actually have a radio session, and things were very different then. You could, you know, nowadays to get on TV or to get on radio, you have to be already with a big company, and it's very, very difficult for an indie band. I think that going in the same way as you know, the commercial way that you have to be with a record company and whatever. Nowadays, people do their own records and they tour, and but they don't get on TV and they don't really get on radio. But in those days, he was one of the few people that broke that mold. And I mean, he made a lot of bands famous. So a lot of bands have an awful lot to thank him for, like us, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Betty, thank you very much for this interview. It was an honor and a pleasure.
Oh, it was my pleasure.
Okay.
Thank you very much.